My 3 favorite knives of 2025. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. I'm Carson, the host here at Cross and Copper EDC, and I thank you for joining us today. As you can see on the table and by the intro, we're talking about my 3 favorite knives that I have either acquired in 2025 or have been enjoying carrying in 2025. 2 of these are new, the Spyderco Swayback and my Knives by Nuge Chickpea, but I had this Oknife Rubato 2 last year. And this is where we will start the video. The Oknife Rubato 2 is an awesome little folder. Very much so my size, under 3-inch blade, crossbar lock that is super snappy, produced by Oknife. If you are not familiar by the name Oknife, if you've heard of Olight, the flashlight company, this is their pocket knife company. They also make some multi-tools and things like that. But Oknife, you've got 154 cm on the blade, super thin behind the edge, full flat grind, and that beautiful acid and stone-washed blade with green micarta. Now, Oknife does not produce these knives on their own. These are actually produced by Kaiser, which, if you're familiar with NAFs, the NAFs Lander 2 and this Oknife Rubato 2 are extremely similar. I've held them side by side. Almost the same exact micarta, almost the same exact blade finish. So if you're a fan of the ergonomics and stylings of the NAFs Lander 2, but you just want a different blade shape, this is a really cool option to check out. A lot of very similar things. I love the jimping on the back of the blade, and this knife is also super fidgety. Kaiser does a phenomenal job with both their OEM work and their crossbar locks. So I highly recommend, if you have not checked out one of these Rubato 2s, specifically this combination, I highly recommend. But this has been one of the knives that just sees a ton of pocket time so far in 2025. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there might be some changes to this list by the end of the year, but this is one of my favorite ones to carry so far in 2025. Like I said, I highly recommend you just checking them out. Before we get into the next knife that has been just one of my favorites to carry in 2025, go follow us on Instagram. If you haven't checked us out on Instagram, I post a bunch of behind-the-scene content, awesome knife photos, or at least I think they're pretty cool. I work hard on taking them. Some behind-the-scene videos as well, and I love to see what y'all are posting as well. So follow us on Instagram, also on TikTok. I try to post daily on both of those platforms. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, join our Facebook group. I'll link all of these down below, so go check them out. So, next knife on the list, Spyderco Swayback. If you're following along and you've seen the June challenge, this is the knife that I'll be carrying all this month. Oop, just fumbled the flip there. Why don't you, Carson? But Spyderco Swayback. I got this knife in a trade. I had a PM2 that was a knife that I had been searching for so long, the Tanto PM2. But guess what? I got it and realized I didn't really love it. The M4 on that knife was not my favorite steel, and just something about it just didn't vibe with me. So when I put it up for trade, somebody had this available, so I traded them for it in a Facebook group, and I have absolutely loved this knife. But I've kind of been babying it, like I said, in my June challenge video, so this has been getting solely all the pocket time for the month of June, or excuse me, for the month of July. So I will continue on the month of July solely carrying this knife. I might get a supporting blade in there, here and there, but this is the primary driver. So, interesting steel on the blade, CTS XHP. Really common kitchen knife or premium kitchen knife steel. Keeps a crazy sharp edge. One thing I really love that I hope you can see, it's got this almost polished stonewash finish on the blade. Super beautiful, and is really resistant, that I've noticed, to scratching as well. And I don't know, this might sound weird, has an awesome feel to it. Love the stonewash titanium handles. A lot of people, when you look up reviews of this knife, and I'll even pin my own that I talk about, that I think this is Spyderco's most underrated pocket knife, they complain about the ergonomics. But honestly, for me, very comfortable. The only point of contention, that pocket clip, just kind of seems like an afterthought, and a lot of times I've thought about just taking it off. But thinking about getting me a Lynch Northwest pocket clip, this deep carry, to put on there. Nice and thin and feels very sturdy. Really good frame lock, and the action on this, really good for a slow roll. And occasionally you hit it just right, you can get a nice flick from it. But this has been one of the knives, one of the three really, that has been a favorite to put in the pocket so far in 2025. Now, last but certainly not least, probably my favorite knife in my collection as of right now for sentimental values, as well as I just think it's flipping awesome. The knives by Nuge Chickpea. If you saw my video about my wife surprising me with this knife, go check it out. I'll pin it up here, but this has been an absolute staple in my pocket, or rather on the belt with that belt loop. Great size, just absolutely perfect for my hand shape and my size preferences. Nitro V on the blade steel that you can see there. And did you notice anything interesting about those handles? Brown trout G-Carta. If you know me, or if you've heard before, I'm a huge trout fisherman. I love to fly fish, love to trout fish, love just getting out in nature, and this has been an awesome companion knife to do those things, as well as just take care of any everyday task I might need to put it through. Awesome, awesome little knife that I love and plan to keep in my collection, honestly, forever. I think Nuge did a phenomenal job with this and might honestly be my perfect knife. But knives by Nuge Chickpea, Nitro V, Brown Trout G-Carta, cannot beat it. And also, I'm a sucker for a good stone and acid wash blade, and just look at that. Look at that. It looks fantastic. But like I said, overall, these three knives have been the primary drivers so far. I'll give you a little open view of them here for 2025. I've also carried a few slip joints, as you saw, for the June slip joint challenge, but these have been the primary drivers so far. Now, comment below, which one of these would you carry the most, and what have been your three most carried knives for the year so far? Like I said, thank y'all for watching. Also, if you're not subscribed, join the Crossing Copper family. We love having new people here, and it helps the channel out a lot. Like, share, comment, you know the drill. And y'all have a great day.